Hey, here are 5 stupid things I've noticed since last time. Arizona GOP censures McCain. Week before last, the Arizona Republican Party formally censured its state's senior senator, John McCain, citing McCain's support of liberal issues like immigration reform and not wanting to shut down the government to avoid having to fund the Affordable Care Act. I know that this McCain isn't conservative enough stuff is nothing new. Right-wingers bitched about it endlessly during the 2008 presidential election, I remember. But that doesn't mean that I understand it. From where I sit, saying that John McCain isn't conservative enough is like saying Joel Osteen isn't Christian enough. That last sentence wasn't about Jesus, he's a witch! Arizona Republican Party, I think the problem is on your end. 9/11 truther interrupts post-game Super Bowl press conference. So right after the Super Bowl, a man named Matthew Mills pulled a Kanye West on game MVP Malcolm Smith, interrupting Smith's post-game press conference to bleat, "Investigate 9/11! 9/11 was perpetrated by people within our own government," into the microphone. And I know it's not very likely that you'll ever watch this, Matthew, but just in case you are watching this, I just want to say sincerely, thank you. Thank you for reassuring me that we take people like you exactly as seriously as we ought to. Truther in the wild. You don't see that much these days. Super Bowl commercial triggers xenophobic Twitter backlash. The most talked about Super Bowl ad this year was that Coke commercial, which featured people singing America the Beautiful in multiple languages, some of which were not English. The internet was soon inundated by outraged tweets and Facebook status updates, people saying things like, "It's an American song, it should be sung in American," or "How could Coke, an American company, do something like this?" Congratulations, people who were pissed off by that Coke ad. You accomplished the hat trick. You missed the point of the ad, the song, and the country. Even Pat Robertson is embarrassed by Ken Ham. Last week was the highly anticipated, by some of us at least, debate between Bill Nye and Ken Ham. And the popular consensus coming out of that debate seems to be that the science guy squashed the creationist, with 92% of voters in a poll hosted on Christianity Today, of all places, calling the debate in Bill Nye's favor. But it gets even worse than that for Ken Ham, as none other than Pat Robertson had this to say.
We have skeletons of dinosaurs that go back about 1.65 million years. And to say that it all came about in 6,000 years is just nonsense. And I think the time we come off of that stuff and say this isn't possible.
Yes, that was Pat Gay People Cause Hurricanes Robertson imploring his fellow Christians to abandon young earth creationism and get real. That has to sting. Or at least it would if Ken Ham had a brain in his head instead of a brick. Senate Democrat opposes minimum wage raise that would benefit his state. Mark Pryor, Democratic senator from the state of Arkansas, has come out in opposition to a proposal to raise the federal minimum wage to a rate of $10.10 an hour, a proposal that was touted by President Obama during the recent State of the Union address. This raise in the minimum wage would result in higher wages for an estimated 2/3 of the full-time workers in Arkansas, Pryor's state, which is among the poorest states in the Union. Pryor says he's against the raise because he feels that the raise from $7.25 an hour to $10.10 an hour would be too much, too fast. However, Bloomberg, the news outlet that first published Pryor's remarks opposing the raise, points out that he's facing a tough re-election campaign this year, and that major contributors to his campaign, including the National Retail Federation, the National Restaurant Association, and Walmart, which has its corporate headquarters in Arkansas, also all oppose a raise to the minimum wage. And you know what? I think this is something that we can all understand. I mean, after all, think about it. What is the quality of life of hundreds of thousands of Arkansans and millions of other Americans really worth when weighed next to the political future of one United States senator. I think it's obvious where Pryor's loyalties should and do lie. The hardest part is only picking 5. Catch you next time.